Hey, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome back, welcome black to In Black America Radio with your host Rasta B. And today's date is July 8th, 2017. One of those rare and special Saturday shows. Today's topic, we're going to be speaking generally on various current events, things of that nature. Obviously, everything that we speak on is going to tie into the upliftment and empowerment of black people. We're going to be speaking on Maxine Waters and her fight against Trump, but not the fight to build her district up. We're going to speak on the KKK marches. We're going to speak on voters basically purging themselves off the registry because of a Trump voters commission or something of that nature. We're going to speak on all of these topics and much more in Black America, in Black America Radio. The number is 646-716-4654. Feel free to call in to listen, to chime in, press 1. Obviously, you can also go to our YouTube page, YouTube in Black America Radio. Subscribe, like, and listen. We upload our shows up there, minus the music, for your listening pleasures. Also, go to the Facebook page, In Black America, Twitter, In Black America 7, Instagram, In Black America Radio, to check us out. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and bring in my co-host, Smoke. Smoke, are you there?
Yo, what's good, bro?
Been another pretty good clap track timing that go around, you know?
Finally.
How you trying to time them shit correctly? You know what I'm saying? So what's going on, man?
Shit, Saturday night special, man. It seemed like it's been a minute.
Shit, seemed like it. Shit. Ask the YouTube listeners, you know what I'm saying? Ask our brothers and sisters out there in the UK, out there in Canada, out there in the islands, you know what I'm saying? They're like, shit, all we be hearing is these Friday shows, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, today's one of the rare Saturdays that we out here. I have all the shows updated on YouTube also.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah, I put last Friday's talking about the Umar Johnson Breakfast Club interview. And in yesterday's show, which was a magnificent show, it was funny that we had the white woman call up. I believe her name was Nancy. I can't remember the last name. But she mentioned Tulsa vicariously through a case about a guy named Jeremy. Damn, I can't remember his name right now. 'Cause I was just talking about him to my girl earlier. Jeremy Lake, I believe it was. Let me make sure.
Yeah, I think it was
Lake, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, Jeremy Lake.
Jeremy Lake. Okay. So, it's funny because after that conversation, because that wasn't even the topic. You know what I'm saying? What we were speaking of. She really called and came totally on another side of the spectrum to bring that information, and bringing that information and bringing that energy and spirit of Tulsa into the building. I'm looking on the internet today, and I'm looking through WorldStar, Forbes. So I'm looking through WorldStar, and I run across a video from the Smithsonian. I guess they have a documentary on Tulsa and Black Wall Street, and they have these brothers and sisters in color. You understand what I'm saying? I have it on the Facebook. So if you go to If you go to the Facebook page, Facebook in Black.America, yo, they got the pictures in color. They got these black men and women in color. You understand what I'm saying? This is not black and white pictures. This is video in color. And when you watch this, yo, that is like I'm showing it to my girl.
I dig what you're saying. It's current, basically what you're saying. Like it's not no old time shit.
No. What I'm saying is that if you watch it and it's not current. They showing Tulsa back then.
Oh, okay.
But it's in color. It's not black and white still pictures where you're looking at black people in a suit, but it's black and white. So you can't really get a feel and grasp of the life that was there. But when you look at this video, it's on the Facebook, right? In Black.America. When you or go to World Star, right? It's on the trending topic, right? Or the Smithsonian website. When you look at these black people in color, and you see the no stress on their face, when you see pride, when you see unity and working togetherness, you see like, yo, they showing you down the block. And I had to keep saying this over and over to my girl as she watching it.
I'm watching it now and shit.
You watching it? I'll keep telling her all of that is black people. You got to keep that in mind. This isn't black people doing good within a white economy. No, this whole area is being ran and sustained by a black economy. When you're watching the buildings, when you're watching the cars driving, when you're watching the people loading things up and shit, all of this is black people, black man and black woman.
Yeah, it's just showing, like, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a short video, like 2 minutes,
yeah, it's a short
minute
video.
and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I see so far, it's just like
Clip.
You see us working in all walks of life of an economy. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
exactly.
I'm not. Well, as you said, the guy was loading something. I see the guy. He's pulling it off like he's the delivery man. He's giving it to the black shop owner who's paying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like you get that whole vibe from just watching that.
Wait, before you continue, what you said is very important, and I don't want that to go past. You see, because this is how economy works. You see all walks of life. You see black people in there that you know, alright, y'all the working class. And then you see black people in there on the same block, okay, y'all the business class. Y'all the one with the bread and y'all the one working. But guess what? We all live amongst each other. And it's not no, oh shit, I might get robbed. No,
right.
Because we all work, and I think I said that in a couple of shows back when we keep on talking about black unity. If you want to see black unity, then we have to build an economy. You see what I'm saying? And we don't have to unify to build an economy. You see what I'm saying? We know that because we know, because we say over and over again, it's like 5 families that control this. Or 3 families that control that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you don't need a whole lot of people. But when you have an economy, what happened is, and that's what I was trying to explain yesterday with the underworld in the mainstream economy. When your mainstream economy is doing well, even if you have an underworld, which is liquor, prostitution, drugs, gambling, things of that nature, even if you have that still going on, that's a small percentage of what's going on in that community.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? That's people that you have to know people to get into that realm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's some shit where it's like you have to knock on the back door at night and you know what I'm saying, and give a password type shit like that because it's tiny, it's a small community. Because the majority of the people of that community is being sustained and relied upon the black economy, mainstream. So only the people who choose to be a part of the underworld will be in the underworld. Choose to be in the underworld. But what happens is when you don't have a main economy, then these same people have to work and sustain their family. So then they have no other choice but to enter the underworld. And then the underworld gets big, like it is now. And then now we're promoting, just like you would promote, help, we need, help wanted, we need jobs here, or whatever like that. We got people promoting to join my gang, promoting criminal activities and behavior, kicking in doors and shit like that, robbing and killing from your brother, robbing, raping, and stealing from your black sister. You know what I'm saying? The black adults can't even walk the streets at night because of children that they produced is terrorizing the night. So then that in return give the excuse and the reason for the police to now use heavy hands in our community because quiet is kept. Your same churches that have y'all hands up, don't shoot, them same churches donate to those police funds. Them same churches get money from politicians and support the police. These are the same people that would turn around and get their congregation to vote for things that affects us in our community. Our so-called leaders and all that shit like that. They all work for the same entities that destroy us. But once they sign their picture, then they come out and they say, oh, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. And they're not fighting. You see what I'm saying? They're not fighting. We as black people, we have to have in this economy so we can sustain ourselves. So now these young black kids who need work, guess what? They can work within this black economy. Yo, I need a bus boy. How old are you? 15? All right, check it. $7 an hour. I need somebody to keep these shelves up here. You know what I'm saying? These shelves full. The aisles mopped. You know what I'm saying? You 15 years old. That's a workforce. You 16, 17 years old. That's a workforce. You don't got to pay them fucking $20 an hour, no shit like that. Pay them $7. Pay them minimum wage. You see what I'm saying? That's your workforce. You're going to have guys out there who might be in gangs and shit like that now, but if they sit there and realize, oh shit, I could get hired to do a job over here. Yo, man, I had to get rid of all that gangbanging shit, man. I got a child. You know what I'm saying? But good thing, man, these black people in this neighborhood is hiring and they got jobs and businesses. I'm in this factory. Making tires. I'm in this factory making fucking furniture that gets shipped out to different you see what I'm saying? You're going to put them guns down. You're going to put them drugs down. Because regardless,
you got something to look forward to.
You got something to look forward to. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? That put tension and stress out the community. Because now you got black men now who's not going to run from the house because they can't take the disappointment in the put down from their woman. Or they can't see their child with hole in their sock or can't eat, but then when they dig in their pocket as a man, they ain't got no bread. You see what I'm saying? So now they run the streets. Now they rather get drunk and high. You know what I'm saying? And people don't get that drunk and high shit. You know what I'm saying? The reason why a lot of people rather get drunk and high, and I'm talking on personal experience. When I was going through my whole issues as a teenager and shit, not having no parents and shit at the time, and I used to like to get drunk and shit like that because my attitude was this: if I eat, I'm gonna be full, but I'm gonna still have to deal with the bullshit. But at least if I get drunk, you know what I'm saying, I'll be numb to the bullshit, and I could be in my I could be spaced out. I could be in my whole different mind and shit, fucked up. And if I'm hungry, guess what? If you fucked up enough, you'll snatch some food. I get food for free, you know what I'm saying? But let me go get my mind right. Let me go get my head right. Let me go get drunk. And at least I'll be numb to the bullshit. Maybe even pass out and then wake up the next morning and try to figure out how to be numb to it again. So, you know what I'm saying? So, a lot of pain that happens in our community is based upon us not being able to sustain ourselves and to sustain our family. And again, it ain't even about the black man taking care of his family. It's about the black man taking care of his family. It's about the black woman taking care of the family. And it's about the black child learning the responsibility of work. You see what I'm saying? All of these disciplines is being broke up. Because even if you decide to say, okay, we're going to hire black women because black women is the majority of people that is the head of their household. Claps for all of that. Salute to the black women who get all the jobs. But guess what? That now eliminates black men. So now you got black man, black woman going to have issues because they're competing to get jobs. You see what I'm saying? Now, okay, let's get the black man working too. Now, black woman and black man working. Now, guess what happened? You always end up finding this out. The black youth unemployment is 97%, 98%, 100% in certain communities. Well, not certain communities. In black communities in certain areas. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, now while you working, black man, and you working, black woman, you got these kids kicking in doors, snatching your shit. So now when you get home, you start to curse that next generation. So it becomes this big cycle and shit now of us still hating one another. All because what? We can't sustain ourselves. But when you have an economy, then you have black man working and black man hiring. And you have black woman working and black woman hiring. And then you have black youth being hired as a labor force, learning responsibility and building relationships with the men and women in the community. Now, how are you going to break into somebody or rob somebody when you know these people now? And you have to know these people because the only way for you to advance in this economy or any economy is having a relationship within them streets. But like I said, if your main economy is strong, your underworld economy it's not going to matter. So when you're making these connections in these streets, it's going to be for you to elevate. Just like our underground is more powerful than our black economy. So when you're in the streets, guess the first thing we do? We want to connect in these streets. Why you think these guys end up having all these, I rode 30 deep, 40 deep, 50 deep? Because strength in numbers. That's a mind frame that's going to hold you down where? In the streets, in the underworld. You see what I'm saying? You got your crew. Why you got your crew? I got my crew because I need to make these moves in the underworld. But if we strengthen our mainstream economy, we could still have these same ideologies. But instead of us using it to destroy ourselves, we'll use it to better ourselves. And as long as we're doing shit to better ourselves, guess what? We're not going to have hatred for one another. But we cannot keep saying to ourselves, oh, we need to unify. Oh, we need to support ourselves. Oh, we need to do this. We need to do that. But we're not talking about building an economy. That's like carrying water from a hole in the pail. That's the only way we're going to win, yo. That's it, Smoke.
That's all.
So, you know.
You're 100% right on that.
But what else? How else you felt about when you seen that video, man, of Tulsa in color?
I mean, it's just like, you know, in the end they showed the little bombing part, but I mean, outside of that, it was
Let's
just...
not get to the bombing. Think about the scene when they showed you the whole landscape, like the layout, when you just seeing the buildings, not the bombing part. I'm talking about when things were still striving.
No, I'm saying outside of that.
Blocks.
Outside of that, it's just like what could be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look at it and you just, I know for me, it's just like, all right, if we really just stop wanting to be white people, you know what I'm saying? It's like we can put together something special, you know what I'm saying? Which is the economy. So you see that. It's like we talk about it all the time. We need an economy. We need an economy. We say that on damn near every show, you know what I'm saying? So to see that, because we know that, you know, what was going on in Black Wall Street, we know that. The stories are there. So it's just having a visual of it. You know the background story that it was thriving community. So you just see how it is. You see, you know what I'm saying? You see the brother come out. He got his trench coat or jacket folded over his arm, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a businessman coming out. He's shaking look like a little porter or something, you know what I mean? Or a waiter or something that's standing outside. He's shaking his hand, shaking both of their hands. And they walking down the street, it's like...
Wait, now stick a pin right there. That's the part I'm talking about. I mean, that's not the part, but that's basically what I'm talking about. How can this porter look at this black man here and screw up his face? Or, yo, let me rob this nigga. Right. It's like I'm going to shake his hand because hopefully this man see me, recognize my face. How you doing, sir? He might see, you know what I'm saying? Like, no different if you a young boy and you got the drug dealer out there. And then the drug dealer, you know what I'm saying? Or let's use a movie form. Bronx Tale, with the Italians. And old boy out there in the middle of the street and shit, and you know what I'm saying, the cops, and he vouched for the dude. You know, he lied to get the Italian dude not to get in trouble, and the big boss nigga looking at the Italian little kid, and he like, yeah, I see you. All right, I see you. So now, as the kid get older, guess what? He can work his way with this mob dude to get into this criminal element, right? That's the point I'm making. Get out the criminal element part. Now you got a porter, right? Now he sees this black man, businessman. He think it to himself, damn, man, how can I get into this guy's circle so I can elevate my situation, elevate my family and my life? So I'm going to shake his hand. How you doing, sir? You know, I see you every day and carry on the conversation and stuff. Dude might turn around and be like, you know what? Call me tomorrow. I might have a job for you. Thanks. That job isn't moving packs in and out of state, risking your life and risking your freedom. You see what I'm saying? That job isn't being a goon or murdering somebody. That's not that. See, when you have an economy and I give you my card and I say, you know what? I see your ambition. I see that in your eye, yo. I see you want more. So you know what? That thirst you got, yo, give me a call tomorrow. You give me a call at this time tomorrow, I got a job for you. And that man call you, the job is a real job. You might be a truck driver now. You went from loading trucks to now you drive the truck. You know what I'm saying? And now you sitting over here making $16 an hour, not now, but let's say back then or some shit. And now you elevate your family.
But also, like, you know, let's say even if it's not a situation like that where it's somebody that you talking to or relating with, but you just see them or you know that they're there, you know what I mean? It's like that's motivation, you know what I'm saying? And it's motivation for people that look like you, you know what I'm saying? So we see this all the time. It's like we go out to, you know, I think about when we was in the city, you know what I'm saying, being in Manhattan, you going through there, you see the white businessmen coming out the building, I might be going in the limo or getting a cab or whatever. You're like, yeah, you got bread. Yeah, I want to have that bread like that. But the person that you look at or idolizing or looking up to is they don't look like you. So you start to get that mind frame that I got to be like that to have success. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't have success. So it's just like having that natural
but you know what the
person that you can look up to that look like you.
What's
you
the
know
flip
what I'm saying?
side? The flip side is this. black dude could walk in right behind the white dude, and he worth more than the white dude. The black dude and the white dude just did a deal where the black dude coming off on top on this deal because the white dude needs the black dude. But when the black people see the white dude come out, they're starstruck. And when the black dude come out, they looking at him like, fuck this nigga talking about. Why you talking to me, nigga? I'm trying to get this white people money. And it's like, what? But see, all of that is because, again, we don't have an economy. When you have any, see, only thing I slightly challenge is when you said about the motivation, because I feel like motivation is people that don't have shit. You know what I'm saying? Motivation is for people that fell. So seeing a black person in the suit gonna inspire somebody that don't have shit. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm looking at that color version of Black Wall Street, that looked like, because you gotta remember, for 21 years it ran. So that looked like people that's like, yo, I'm like, you know, it's not motivate. It's like, this is what it is. This is reality. You know what I'm saying? This is reality. These is business people. It's not
motivation. Might not be the word for it, but I mean, I'm just thinking of as a kid when you looking at somebody who, you know what I mean, and maybe that's what it is. Like, it is what it is, but maybe motivation ain't the word for it. But
because sometimes when I think of motivation, I be thinking like I said, because you know what? Let's put it back into the situation of the Bronx tale, because that's an Italian economy, right? With the underworld really being strong in that economy too, and it's like, was what's the guy named C or whatever? Was he motivated by seeing these Italians dressed up? He said he wanted to be like them. So they was trying to, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think that's two different mind frames. Like when you looking at a black person in power and you say, I want to be like that. When I grow up, I want to be like that. Compared to, I need you to see this to even give you the idea that you could be like that. Like, I feel like motivation is that step behind wanting to be something. Like, you have to be motivated. Once you're motivated, then you get to the stage of, you know what, I can achieve that. So that's why when you said motivated, I feel like watching that video, especially you see the woman hanging out the car and all that shit, and that's like, these people look like, nah, yo, this is how life is. We live in life. This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. The reason I say motivated is because you have different walks of life. So, you know, you might have someone who, in that situation where they family is porters, things like that. They make money for themselves, they live, they do that. But he might say, well, shit, I want to own the business. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, work for it. So that's really in the mind frames that I'm saying, like, you know, you have all people where it's like, you know, I'm here, I'm thriving in my society. I'm able to take care of myself, take care of my family. I don't got to do anything negative, but this is what I'm known for doing, or my family. I want to take it up a notch. I want to own the business, or instead of just working and making money. So that's really more so in the mind frame of what I'm saying. But I kind of agree with what you say in terms of like motivation, because like you kind of got to be standing still. You know what I'm saying, for like motivation. Or, you know, be behind, like, yo, come on, get up off the chair, man. Come on, you can do it. Like that type.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, then I like to always pay attention to the words too, because I feel like a lot of times us as black people, we'll hold on to some weak ass words and weak ass sayings just because it sounds strong, or we was taught to believe it's strong. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, nigga, that shit sound weak as hell. Like when I be hearing the people say, "Oh, Trump doesn't have an agenda for us," or I don't trust that Trump cares about and I'm like, who gives a fuck if he cares about the black community? Why are you not fighting to protect it? You know what I'm saying?
Know
like
he
you
don't.
Yeah,
so
like
we fronting like we know he don't. It's like we will go back and we can talk about the history of this, you know, his relation with the Central Park 5 and the shit that he was saying. So we already know he don't give a damn about niggas. Why we acting like we don't know that? So it's like it's a stupid. Oh, it's like we don't be keeping it real. It's
It's dumb.
Like, come on, man. Why are we even talking about that? We already know what it is.
What are we talking about? That's
it's
my
like
whole
Raw Kardashian. It's like Raw Kardashian and Black China. It's like, yo, what you doing? So you already know.
That's a
you already know what's
example.
up, Carl.
That's a perfect example. Yeah, you sitting over here talking about all this bread you spent on somebody. We know how she living. Know how she living. Talking about how he spended all her money, turned the faucet off. But I'm like, nah, yeah, you turned the faucet off, but it's still a drip.
Oh,
you call your drip
baby.
The baby, yeah.
Turn it back on, Carl.
Yeah.
Turn that on.
And then they say he brought a new girl. He brought a new girl, some Jamaican black chick, Instagram model.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he brought her the other day.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. I'm like, boy, this shit is just hilarious to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this shit is some straight up. Is it Madame Tussauds, whatever is that wax figure shit, right? It's that New Orleans, like it's like during slavery. This is what was going on. You had white women that used to go out there, pick the black men and screw them and cut them and all kind of other weirdo sadomasochist shit. The same shit with the black girls they'll do. It's like, man, we so used to being used and abused by white America that it's entertaining to us now. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'd be also saying that we're so used to eating the flesh of each other. You know what I'm saying? That it's like mad cow disease. When you feed a cow, you know what I'm saying? It's like we done been eating black flesh for so long that we insane, we crazy. We don't even know how to live if it's not exploiting or destroying each other. Like that's the only skill we have now. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is. It's crazy. But shit. Guest calling number 646-716-4654 in Black America Radio. We generally speaking on current events. And one of the current events I'm gonna build on is this one right here. Hundreds of voters unregistered after Trump voter fraud panel demands info. So it goes like this. Hundreds of voters are responding to the possibility their information will be shared with President Trump's election integrity panel by withdrawing their voter registration, according to a Friday report. In Colorado, one of the states that is complying with part of the commission request, 2 clerks have been a significant increase in voters withdrawing their voters registration, Denver ABC affiliate reported. In Denver, 1 clerk has seen a 2,150% increase in people. In Denver, 1 clerk has seen a 2,150% increase in people withdrawing as voters over the past since July 3rd compared to the first non-holiday week before. Colorado allowed voters to withdraw online or make their information confidential by paying a fee. The Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity last week requested all 50 states to upload publicly available voters' information to a federal website. The information requested in a letter signed by Vice Chair Chris Kobach include voters' names, birth dates, the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers, and party affiliation. Colorado Secretary of State Wayne Williams is releasing publicly available voter information, including full name, address, party affiliation, and date the person registered, phone number, gender identity, birth year, and voting history. Damn. Shit, what else? Goddamn, as far as eye color and the size of your balls ain't on the list, too. The state will not provide Social Security numbers, driver license numbers, full date of birth, or email addresses. A majority of states are refusing to supply all or part of the information the commission requested. So, with that much people unregistered to vote because of this commission that Trump have set up, collecting all of your information, you know what that equate to, right, Smoke?
What's that?
Less people voting.
Yeah.
So yeah, less people voting.
I thought you were gonna say some shit.
Yeah, less people voting. So now Trump's sitting over here. He's setting up for his re-election. You know what I'm saying? And the games being played now is what?
Yeah,
it's a 2,150% increase of people getting off the voting registration now. Meaning they're getting off, they're not going to vote. So it's just like...
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny because you said that...
No, I want to say, so y'all still think... Wait, you said what happened?
No, I was just laughing because they said one clerk that had a 25. So I'm not wondering if it's more than one clerk that does that or if it's just that one person. It's like, they busy as hell since July.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they like,
where all these requests come from?
I need some help.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta go to a temp service and hire somebody.
It's interesting that you point that out because it's like, at the games begin, it's like, you know, it's not just one thing that happens. It's like it's continual shit. So, you know, when you hear about it in Denver, then that means it's happening throughout the country. You know what I'm saying? That same effect.
Oh, they said it though. They said 50.
They said an article?
All 50
cool.
states. Yeah, they said all 50 states in the article. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's everywhere.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, y'all still think Trump ain't going to get this second term? Y'all still think Russia going to and all this other stupid shit? The DNC got a fraud lawsuit. They out here, they got the FBI over there investigating Bernie Sanders' wife and all kind of shit because they pissed with Bernie because they blaming him for Trump win. Man, there's so much funky shit going on behind the scene that it's like, keep listening to the goddamn media. And everybody keep telling you, oh, and this is a new thing we're gonna do. We're gonna tickle Trump. We're gonna keep tickling Trump until he can't pass no more laws. We got a new rule that we just gonna lock Trump in the hot. They're not gonna do nothing. They're not gonna do shit. Why? Look how the whole Russia shit done transferred from the Russians hacked into the election to Russia is colluding to we're investigating the people around Trump for talking with them to CNN analysts and Van Jones got videos where they done busted them out talking about the whole Russia shit is a big nothing burger. Right. A CNN dude, white boy, talking about, oh, that's just for ratings. We just do that out there just to pump that narrative. But who you think they pumping that narrative to? Not to the people that support Trump, because they already know they don't care about none of that shit. Trump letting the people know. Don't get caught up in that television shit. They keep calling me the reality TV guy, right? So let this reality TV guy tell you something. All that shit on TV, fake. Don't listen to none of that shit. And then here go the TV. We not fake. Don't listen to him. We ain't fake. We tell you the truth. So why the hell Hillary lost if y'all tell us the truth? You see what I'm saying? And we still get caught up in this stupid ass television shit. While Trump running around telling y'all, yo, y'all telling me y'all agree with me. Why on TV y'all fighting against me? Y'all full of shit. And here they go, damn, Trump, you ain't supposed to say that out loud. Trump, what you doing? Trump, you ain't supposed to do that. Now we got, yeah, I don't know what Trump, I can't defend what Trump is doing. And everybody's like, yeah, we're going to impeach Trump. And here go Trump, impeach, yeah, all right. Rewrite the Muslim ban shit. Yeah, so we can ban the Muslims from coming over here. Okay, it got approved. Thanks a lot. And we're gonna get Trump out of office. We're gonna say he's not mentally fit. Yeah, so we're gonna go and talk to China, right? And we're gonna drop some more bombs here in Yemen, and we're gonna sit. Nobody's stopping him. The only people that's yelling and complaining is the television, the idiot box. The stupid box, the idiot box, tell lies through vision. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That's who telling y'all what's going on. So instead of saying, yo, let me step away from these white people affairs. Let me start to think about what I'm going to do as a black person in the development of black people. When you think about black people, this is what you do. This is what David Walker said. This is what you do. The only black people you think about is you, black man, you, black woman, you, black children within your house. Think about your family and building your family up and building your riches up within your family and becoming a wealthy black family. Because if we all do that, fuck the unity. You see what I'm saying? Fuck the unity. Every black individual, just have goddamn pride within yourself, within your own black family, and build your own black family up. Do that. Then we can talk about unity. But fuck talking unity. Because what happened is, you start to say to yourself, you know what? I ain't going to worry about money. And I ain't going to worry about credit. And fuck this car, and fuck owning land and property in this white man devil system and all this other crazy shit. We need to unify with the black people. Hey, poor black man who's struggling to make it, why don't we come together as a people and try to... Nobody's trying to hear that. I lived that my whole life. Nobody's trying to hear that. You know what works? You say to yourself, okay, let me build this bond and build this peace agreement with my black woman, black man. And black woman, you say, let me build this bond and peace agreement with my black man. You see what I'm saying? So this black man and this black woman, they have a peace agreement. Yo, we are a family. We working together. That's whether y'all have a marital contract or not. You see what I'm saying? We working together, we a family, we work together. Now y'all a unit. Y'all unified. You see what I'm saying? So look, that's two black people that's unified. Boom. Now you got the children. You build your children up. Let's get some more engineers. Let's get some more scientists. Let's get some more builders and creators. Even if you have the athletes and entertainers, you keep them black focused and black minded, but I'll get into that part later. Let's get into the engineers and the business mindedness. Now you got this black man and black woman who have an agreement of unity, raising their children up and building them up within unity. Now these children grow up now, and then you have that story of the family, the 5 black families, they're all engineers, and now what? You teach these black youth of yours what it is to be black and the importance of uplifting your community. Now you got these 5 black engineer, strong black family ties now, have children and passing that on with their community. Now if we're all just strengthening our bloodline, for the ones who want to scream bloodline, or if we all strengthening our family structure, that's whether you a Christian, Black Jesus, white Jesus, don't matter. Or maybe it do. I don't know. But I'll just say, in this scenario I'm speaking of, it doesn't matter. Just build your family up. Pro-black, but even if you don't understand pro-blackness, build up strong black people. Muslim, it doesn't matter. Hebrew Israelite, Moors who don't want to be black, okay. Did you see me when I put that on Facebook, Smoke? I said,
no, I ain't see that.
I said the L's and the Bays be like, I'm not black, I'm Moorish. Okay. Still, nigga.
But
so,
I mean,
whether
you making a good. No, I was gonna say you making a good point, because when you just think of, like, you making a good point in the sense of, you know, just building a family, because you think of like families now, it's like, yo, black families be mad splintered now, you know, and I just think about, like, you know, back when I was younger, even back when we was little kids, you know what I'm saying, it would always be like family gathering, family reunion, go to this person's house for the holidays, these people's house, you know what I mean? It's just like families interacted, and this is like, you know, nowadays you just see it, you know, not just only with my family, even though my family I feel like is a little more orientated than the average family, but even still, it's like less gatherings, less, you know, hanging out together, you know, and things like that. So, I mean, it's just important to just build a family, you know what I'm saying? Starting with, you know, those right around you, your kids, your woman, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it'll all go from there. If we all creating great families, you know, it ain't about a religious outlook or any of that, because being black, part of being black is raising your family and having a strong knit family, having communities. That's part of being black. So, yeah, you know, that's a good ass point. You know what I'm saying? It's just building a family. You know how to relate with your woman, be honest with her. You know how to take the time out with your kids, teach them. You know what I'm saying? You learn from your woman, you learn from your kids. You know what I mean? Those relationships right there is going to create strong people, because you know how to take care of your family. You know how to problem solve. You know how to do all of that. So now, you know, if I can come to an agreement with my woman, and, you know, a lot of times that's the hardest thing to do as a man sometimes. If you could go and do that, you know, you could do that with the average person. You know what I'm saying? It's come to resolution. So, yeah, I mean, it all starts from the home and shit. So, yeah, that was a good point.
And that's why I be saying, like, yo, it's not, shit gonna take a while to get there, because it took a while to destroy us, you know what I'm saying? But, it all starts with the youth, and it's gonna take a while. You can't think that, oh, if we snap our fingers or if we all come to some realization as adults, something gonna change. No, because the adults, we is who we is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have to die off. We're like dried up leaves. We have to fall off to let the new, fresh leaves blossom and bloom and grow and be strong and healthy. You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be trying to revitalize the old leaves. No, the old leaves have to die off. They serve their purpose. Your whole purpose might have been just to give birth to this great person. You see what I'm saying? That might have been your whole purpose. But you over here trying to be something that you're not. Your whole purpose might have been that seed that's right there. You looking at this little young kid that can't take care of themselves right now. You have to take care of that kid. You see what I'm saying? But the thing about that child that you don't know, that might be the child that rises you out of poverty.
Wow.
But instead of you instilling, you know what I'm saying, that life into that child for greatness, you rather attack that child because hurt people, and you want to now inflict pain on a child thinking that this child is a burden to you or a sin or some type of something of a negative condemnation. And it's like, no, actually a child is a rebirth, because you can grow up fucked up. You can be 40, 50 years old, no real education, working in a bum ass job, busting your ass and shit, but your child growing up in this new technology era figure out something at 19, 20, 6 figures, get you out, got you in a house now, taking care of you.
Yeah.
So you should really think to yourself and say, yo, if I didn't have this child and instill the discipline and the motivation into this child to make this child a better version of me, I would not be in this mansion or on this vacation trip at, let's say, 57, 60 years old because of my child. Just like this with the Ball situation, LeVar Ball and all them, and Lonzo and that whole situation. What's the father's name?
LeVar.
LeVar. What the father doing is setting shit up so lovely, and he gambling. But his gamble is, if this shit work, the way I'm gonna have this shit set the fuck up, that I'm gonna be able to kick back in a couple of more years. Everybody else is scared because they thinking to themselves, but what if it don't work? What if it don't work? It not working isn't gonna change his life. Because he's already living his life. So it's not going to change his life.
It's working
you see what
now.
I'm saying? No. What I'm saying is, if it do work, that's the major payoff. So it's really no risk he taking. Everybody keep talking about a risk. He's not taking a risk. He's in a win-win situation.
He can't
lose. So
lose.
it's like, why not take the...
As time passed.
Because I don't know about the sports shit, so go ahead.
As time passed, his shit get more solid. You know what I'm saying? It was like 6 months ago, he said, my son is going to get drafted by the Lakers, and that's how it's going to be. Everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about? Then when the Lakers got the second pick, the Lakers got the second, because his son is a baller. His son was a freshman All-American. Like, that shit don't happen. Well, it happens, but it don't happen a lot. You know what I'm saying? So he's like in a prestigious category with that. So, you know what I mean? So he's going to be an early pick. So when the Lakers got the second pick, it was like, oh, he like, I told y'all. So it's like they were trying to make it big deals about it. Like when they had to work out for the Lakers, he was barred from going there, the father, speaking of for the father, LeVar. He was barred from going, so they jumping all on that. Oh, the Lakers probably not going to pick him. Lakers pick him. You know what I'm saying? So all his shit is coming to fruition now. It's like they just keep moving a new thing to criticize him on. But it's happening. It's like they can't stop it. It's like whether Nike want to be with him or not. It's like, does he have to sell the best? He might not sell a lot of sneakers, but shit, he's making money off of it. I bet you he in the plus. You know what I'm saying? So he might not be the.
But it don't matter. As long as you can make sneakers, you can always do it how you want to do it.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
And if you sell 10 sneakers, it's a win-win. You made a profit, it's a win. So it's like he ain't losing. He guaranteed to win.
Regardless.
You
know and history.
You gotta rub it in.
He's etching his name in history. So, he can never get out of that. Never get out of that,
Right.
Guest calling number 646-716-4654.
I've been wanting I've been seeing this story. I've been seeing the story for a minute, and I've been wanting to talk about it, or just at least mention it on the show and shit. This was from last month, in June, in Huffington Post, and they were speaking on Khalid Browder's brother is going to be running for mayor of New York City. So the article is saying that Hakeem Browder And I'll just read the article. Akeem Browder still grieves over the deaths of both his younger brother, Khalif, and his mother, Vanita, but he is carrying on their legacy and fighting for a change by running for mayor of New York City. So this was, the Monday of that time. I think it was.
I always disagree with shit like that.
What's that? With him running for mayor?
Yeah, anytime black people talk about running for mayor, I always disagree with that.
All right, well,
because
go
ahead and read the story. Go ahead.
So Browder confirmed to Huffington Post on Monday that he's officially thrown his name into the ring, along with several other candidates, and competing against the incumbent NYC Mayor Bill de Blasio. Browder, 34, believes he is equipped and more ready than he'll ever be for the campaign. And they quote him as saying, I lost my mother, I lost my brother, I have nothing left to lose. So they speak on Khalif Browder, who died in 2015 at the age of 22, after 2 years after he was released from Rikers Island. He was jailed there for 3 years, nearly 2 of which he spent in solitary confinement for allegedly stealing a backpack, and was both unable to make the $3,000 bail and unwilling to take a plea deal. He experienced brutal beatings from both inmates and guards, all of which is documented in stories and interviews of those who spoke with him before his death. Browder's mother, Vanita, who had been one of Khalif's biggest supporters, passed away in 2016 at the age of 63 from a broken heart, they have it quoted, after suffering complications from a heart attack. And so he was speaking on Browder, Akeem Browder, he's focusing in on the closure of Rikers Island. Bill de Blasio, he had a big campaign centering on closing out Rikers Island. He has a 10-year plan, that he's touting. And so Akeem Browder is pretty much saying that, he quoted it as lip service. You just think that that's him, playing the political game. And he thinks that, Rikers Island could be closed within 3 years if they're really serious. So that's one of the causes that he's taken in his run for mayor. So I thought it was interesting, you know what I'm saying, and especially with Khalif Browder, his story being a popular story. Jay-Z produced a documentary recently on that. So, you can go check that out for the story of it. But, I just thought it was interesting that, he wants to run for mayor and shit, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that goes. Shit, best of luck to him. If he could really jump on that Rikers Island plan and really put something out there, to close it in 3 years, hey, that'll be a good thing, you know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, you said that what was your words? You don't trust it. So we always like to explore all the angles, or as many angles we can see at the time. So speak on it.
So I hate when I hear black people say that they want to run for mayor of a city. I never understand what is the purpose of you running for mayor of a city. Like, what do you think you're doing? Like, what do you think you're gonna do? Now you're mayor. Now what? Like, I never understand why people always say they want to run for mayor. We don't have an economy. So when you're running for these offices, guess what? You need money. So you're going to be now by the behest or besiege or whatever the fuck the word is of corporate America. Because they're going to be the one telling you, okay, we'll run your campaign like this. Like, first of all, you're going to have the sharks come in because you don't even know what to do. And they're going to take over your campaign and dress you up and try to run that. So there's going to be a lot of shit being done. You're not even going to know what the hell's going on. You see what I'm saying? All because there's no black money backing you because we don't have an economy. See, if a black person says, I want to run for mayor of Baltimore, predominantly black city, right? And Baltimore have a strong black economy, not a strong drug economy, a strong black economy, right? Industry and shit. And there's a black man that want to run for mayor. Guess what? He's going to go to that black dollar, and the black people in that community are going to tell them, yo, this is what we want. See them Polish people over there running the docks? Yo, you got to tell them, hey, 50% of that workforce, 75% of that workforce got to be black in order for y'all to do that. Or you know what? Not even that. Better situation. It's how many docks is there on the port? Yo, at least 3 of them shits got to be for black people. Boom. No, what am I talking about? This is the majority. No. What am I talking about? I'm thinking like a slave. Talking about 3.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, just
Baltimore's the majority. Yeah, give me a 1. Yeah, give me a 1 good one. 1 right there at the end of the harbor. No, we're the majority.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
All right, niggas. I need $100 application fee to apply for the job.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, we go out there and we grabbing fucking, let's say 75% of the goddamn shit. We leave the 25 for the rest. 75% of the shit, right?
Yeah, let the numbers reflect the population.
However it works. Now, that's what a mayor would be doing. You see what I'm saying? That's how a black person being a mayor works. But when you sitting over here now, you got black people like, don't worry, I'll vote for you. Yeah, thank you. I need some fucking money, though. You know what I'm saying? I need money. That vote is all good, but I need the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Daddy.
I still need I need that bread. You see what I'm saying? I'm going against people with corporate bread right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even about the vote, because once you get in, that's when it gets serious. That's when the lobbyists and everybody else come knocking on the door. That's when all of that shit come out. And guess what? You ain't got none of that paper to hold you down and to wash you or none of that shit. You ain't got none of that. So then when the black community looking at you like, yo, we said we needed this, we needed that. Yo, why you not fixing nothing over here? Then you're going to start tap dancing like everybody else. Your hands is tied. You just got in. Just give me some time. And playing the whole game again. And then we're going to be like, oh, you a sellout. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to do that whole shit again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I never get it. You want to be mayor for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't make sense. No economy, why are we playing a political game anyway? Straight up. No economy, it don't make sense to play the political game. You don't hear Chinese fighting to get into the political realms and arenas, you know what I'm saying, in America. All they doing is buying shit up, because eventually they will. Because the politics is money. All that shit is money, rerouting money. That's all the political game is. That's all the lobbyist groups is. That's all the corporate America. That's all the whole shit is. The gays, the women, the banks, Latinos, Jews, you know what I'm saying, and anybody else who got lobbyist groups. You know, tobacco, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that, police. All these people come in with money, and they like, listen, we want our agenda popping. Listen, we gay, and we don't want to hide no more in no fucking closet. We want to run around and live how we want to live. Now, we fund your shit, you push our agenda. The banks, listen, we don't want to do with this regulation. Get rid of that shit, man. We funding your shit. Latinos and everybody else. black people, we want equal rights, and we want for minorities and people of color, and we want the Voters' Right Acts, and it's like, yo, what are we talking about? Where's our agenda? You know why we don't got an agenda? Because we don't got an economy. When you don't got the economy, you don't have nothing to fight for. That's why we scratch our head. Well, what are we gonna ask for? We got a 7-point plan we're gonna give to the president. That's the Congressional Black Congress, and we're gonna talk to them, and we're gonna and he gonna listen to what we gotta say. There's nothing to say. We want more funding for HBCUs, and we want to do that. All we want to do is beg for more funding because we don't have no economy to circulate and do shit with nothing. So we don't have nothing to say. Listen, this is what we want. This is what we want. We're trying to expand our community. Listen, this is what we want. You see what I'm saying? Right now, the white community is dealing with an opioid epidemic. If we had a black economy right now, we could have been buying up all of their fucking dilapidated shit. Their banks falling down and all kind of shit, buying up their shit. Expanding. But we can't because we don't have nothing. We're just playing this game within their society until they come crashing down. Well, we got a caller. Bringing this caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name's Joe. Was my hand up? Because I thought I turned it down. That's okay.
No, I see. Yeah. What's going on, Joe?
All right.
Let me give you your floor.
All right, that's good. Now, you're talking about Black America.
Right.
What's happening in Black America is or will be happening in white America pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because as you're talking about no economy for black people, that's pretty much true. I think there's only about 31 banks that are owned by blacks. There should be more. But I don't even think the voting situation is a good situation for blacks. In my opinion, it's the only thing that is from people, the populace themselves, whites and blacks and everybody else that's included. The only thing that's really worked, because you were talking about lobbyists a few minutes ago. Lobbyists have the money, and the money runs Congress. But the only thing that's worked for the middle class or for poor people are, in my opinion, three things: strikes, boycotts, and riots. When you destroy property or hurt the economy, then Congress starts to listen. But if you just want to send in emails and snail mail and protests, they're not going to listen because you're not paying for other campaign contributions. That's my opinion.
No, that's right, and I agree with that.
That's a good point.
I agree with that.
That's a good point.
You know, because poor people don't get together and, and pay for the cost of running a campaign. So why do they even bother listening to the middle class? That's whites included. Whites, Chinese, it doesn't matter. If you don't have, as you were terming it, the economy, if you don't have the money, then you better have some other kind of power to make them listen. And as far as I'm concerned, the only three ways were strikes, boycotts, and riots.
Yeah, because you have to stop the economy. You have to stop the economy to make the people listen, because that's how the dollars stop.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that.
But that comes with a risk, because the riots will cause deaths. But in the long run, or even in the intermediate term, it does have an effect. In my opinion, Martin Luther King was a great man. Malcolm X was a great man. Reverend Abernathy, all significant, true civil rights leaders were great men and women. But Martin Luther King galvanized black people together to vote. But what do black people do? They vote Democratic 98% of the time. And the Democrats and Republicans are about the same people. It's about the same agenda.
Yeah, we're about to see that. We're about to see that come the next election. We're going to see that play out. Because I feel like the same thing that happened with the compromise of 77. I feel like that's about to play out again because I believe Trump is going to win for the second. He'll get his second term, and after Trump is going to be another Republican for at least one term, and because the Democratic side is really messed up, and I feel like the Democratic side is going to try to distance themselves from the black agenda to try to cater back towards white needs to get the voters back off from the Republicans. And then we're going to end up suffering because of that. So I'm like, because it happened before. So I'm just like, how many times do we got to go through the same cycle before we realize maybe we need to get our stuff together before we play this political game, build our economy where we could take care of ourselves within this system instead of relying on other people's economy for jobs and work. Because I can't pass a job to my child, but I can pass on
your wealth,
property and my wealth.
Yeah. The only problem is a lot of blacks don't. Well, a lot of blacks feel that way, but a lot of blacks don't pursue that particular direction. Because I've been on a lot of black shows for years, and I've talked about it, and a lot of blacks will say, Charlie's keeping me down. And yeah, there is white supremacy and there is white privilege, but at the same time, I think, who was that? Just slipped my mind. Claude Anderson. He made a great point. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he was talking about the same thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, power economics or powernomics?
Powernomics.
Yeah, powernomics. Is that people, and in that particular instance, black people have to have a power rooted in the economy, as you're saying, in wealth, in pursuing wealth. When you have wealth, you have political power. But nobody that I know of, I guess what people I know may not be truly representative, because there are 35,000 black millionaires. But at the same time, the vast majority of black people don't pursue entrepreneurship. They're looking for jobs, but
that's a fact.
That's because of our leadership. Our leadership promotes jobs. It doesn't promote entrepreneurship. All of our leadership screams, we want more jobs, we're fighting for more jobs, we're going to Congress to demand more jobs, but no one speaks on promoting entrepreneurship in the school system to black kids or teach entrepreneurship to black college youth. All they teach is jobs and assimilation. So what happens is you have a group of people that only knows how to work and to spend their money and to consume. So then when you get a generation after generation like that, at least 3 generations, you have your grandparents who did it, your parents currently who's doing it, and then you who's doing it now. And then that means you have no example of what it used to be when we never did that. Because I don't know if you listened to the show earlier, I was saying that there's a video of Black Wall Street of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, I know
color.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in color, no.
Oh, you got to see it in color. I think it's from the Smithsonian. Have the documentary, but I've seen the clip on WorldStar, and when you see it in color, it's mind blowing because you're actually seeing the face, you're seeing the emotion, you're seeing the pride, you're seeing the unity, you're seeing the economy. You're watching different classes of black people in one area, where the working class is working next to the business. You don't see no one trying to mug anybody. You don't see envy and hate and deceit. You see pride within all. You see the man, you see the woman, and it's beautiful until you realize it gets burnt down. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is, I lost my point, but that video, what I'm saying is what you should see. It's very good. You got to see it in color. The Tulsa video, though.
I didn't know.
Check it out.
I've never seen the video of Black.
Check it out on WorldStar. Check it out on WorldStar. It's on the very top of the.
WorldStar.com?
Yeah, worldstarhiphop.com.
Oh, okay.
And when you go in there, it have it on the very top of the bar. It should say trending, and it's going to show you the Tulsa, Black Wall Street in color. It's a clip.
Okay.
You got to see it. You got to see it in color.
Yeah, I'm going to go there now. Let me see.
Worldstarhiphop.com.
Hiphop.com. Okay.
You got to see that. Because when you see it in color, it really gives it life. It's not when you see the still pictures and stuff like that in black and white.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, rare color footage of Black Wall Street. Okay.
Yeah.
I just clicked on it. The thing is that another thing about is not only Tulsa. There was another city that was burned down. It was similar to Tulsa. I think it was Tulsa. I think Black Wall Street was Black Wall Street in Tulsa.
Yes. Yes.
It was. All right, because there's another city which was similar to that, which was also burned down. I forget the name.
Well,
of it.
There was like 19. There was at least maybe 19, 20 different black cities and towns that was created after slavery. So that was burnt down, unfortunately, during the 19th century, and all of that was due to because of that's that black economy, and when white people. When they're asking the rich white people, like, where's our jobs? And the rich white, after slavery, they're like, okay, so where's our jobs? Because this is how I break down slavery. The rich whites employed the poor whites to enslave the blacks. So now let's call enslaving the blacks now, that's the workforce. So now, once you can no longer enslave the blacks, and the black people now create their own economy because they still have the skills. So they're now creating their own economy with their skills. The whites never had skills. Their only skills were to oppress the blacks. So now that the black people now with the skills creating their own land, they have to now ask the rich whites, well, where's our jobs? How are we going to take care of our family? So now the rich whites for political votes and things of this nature, they say, well, the black people, they the ones who got the money, they the ones who got the jobs. We can't do nothing about it. So now they form up and they start attacking and killing, pillaging, and snatching their stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's where that comes from. Now you got the tension back and forth. Because it's about economy. It's about economy.
I heard it was about a white woman who claimed falsely about being raped in an elevator, and then the whites came in. Now, see, in my opinion, that is a good reason for gun control. Not gun control, for not having gun control. For people having guns to protect themselves against other people coming in and robbing their property for whatever reason.
But they had it. They had guns. Tulsa had guns, and the black men pulled out their guns. But you know what happened? It's called law. And the police came in and took all the black men's guns.
Oh, I didn't know.
Right,
I thought that would happen. Oh, yeah?
They took all their guns. Because you got to remember, law in America works against black people.
You mean before the riots, right? You mean before the burning down of Tulsa?
Before the burning down.
Oh, okay. All right.
They said the police came in and took the black men's them guns. Took their guns. And
see,
then
that's what happened. That's what happens
so
not only with Tulsa, but if you take a look at history around the world, Pol Pot, Stalin, Mao, etc., they always take the guns and then they go on the killing spree. They starve their people. This is how Stalin and Mao starved over 60 million people together. That's how they killed them. They took the guns, no resistance, and they deprived them of food. And here, I'm always telling people, look, a criminal's going to get a gun, right? It doesn't matter how many laws you pass, the criminal is always going to get a gun. People I talk to, they always say yes. So then I say, well, would you rather live in a community where there are no guns or in a community where there are guns and the criminals know which community has the guns and which community does not. Which community would you rather live in? Most of the time, people say, I'd rather live in a community which has guns. But they still want gun control, which to me, I don't understand, because, if you bother me enough, you could end up dead. And this is the way it is. But people are the way that they are, and they listen to the propaganda perpetuated by the news and by the government about how bad guns are. But as far as I'm concerned, you need a gun to defend yourself against your neighbor and primarily the government.
That's how I see that. That's how I see that. Especially speaking as a black person, because see, in our community, and I never hear this in the white community, so if it does happen, you let me know. But in the black community, we always end up getting toys for gun drives and food for gun drives.
And that happens.
And it's like,
that happens in the white community. I mean, you have. As a matter of fact, in the major cities, they'll have these gun drives, and they'll trade in like a Walmart gift certificate if you bring in your guns, and people bring in their guns. It's amazing the propaganda, but people bring in guns that they really don't want, which is okay, giving me some sort of hope. But I don't think people should bring in guns at all whatsoever, because now the cops know who has guns.
That's always been a weird thing to me.
Yeah,
and I just noticed that in our community they do it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that they do it in white people, because I never heard it.
Yeah, L.A.
But I
New
know
York.
in ours, boy.
Yeah.
They love snatching guns out. So it's just weird to me, because it's like.
Yeah. You know why? Because blacks know how to riot, and in my opinion, what Martin Luther King did was, as I said, galvanize blacks together for the right and the power to vote. But it was the riots of 64, 65, after Rodney King, etc., that got Congress to get up off its ass. Because to me, if you're gonna say, hey, I don't like what you're doing, I'm gonna say, do you fund, my job? No. Well, then, take a walk. But if you say, I just burned down $1 million worth of property, and your campaign lobbyists are going to be on your ass now, they're going to listen.
Right.
So
and that's why when the conversation comes up about King versus any other black leader. You have to put King above everybody, because he was the only person that got law passed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he was smart. He the reason why he was against violence is because there's a video of him saying, you can't win. It's just the same reason as Nehru, as Gandhi rather. Gandhi wasn't against picking up a gun, but he was against losing if you did pick up a gun. He wasn't a strict pacifist. He wasn't the one. Neither was Martin. They weren't people who said guns are bad. They were saying we don't have enough numbers to fight the military and the police, so we have to do it a different way. But that doesn't mean that Malcolm X was wrong. It just means that if
both structures should have been going on the same way, because Martin was fighting politically for equal rights and with the Voting Rights Acts of basically allowing black people to be treated as citizens in America. And Malcolm was fighting for the economy, doing for self, building an industry where we could take care of ourselves and not depend on the white man's economy. So if while Martin seceding politically and Malcolm seceding economically, that connection right there would have been the perfect blend for black power. So that's why that had to happen.
The powers that are and the powers that be don't want anybody to come replace them. Power doesn't give away power. Power has to be taken. So, and unfortunately, the blacks are at the lower end of the totem pole because, blacks still are a minority. And the public education system isn't really helping any. But at the same time, if blacks did have more of a drive for entrepreneurship and learn more about money in the Federal Reserve System, then I think the power, as Claude Anderson has probably said, would be a little bit stronger there.
Yeah, more than likely it will. But see, me, I just feel like it has to just be taught to the children. The adults is a lost cause. Yeah, we just got to start teaching it to the babies.
What about your historically black colleges? Are they teaching any of that there?
I will let Smoke handle that one. Smoke, how's it historically black colleges?
I guess not. Huh?
Nah, I mean they're more structured to just have you fit into what's currently there. I mean, I attended a black college, and I mean, outside of just having the maybe black heritage part of it, what I'm saying? It's just the schooling aspect of it is more so to, fit into the current corporate structure, and, get a job. That's it. Entrepreneurship definitely wasn't a focal point of the schooling. And so, I can't speak for every school, but, I got a lot of friends and acquaintances who attended black colleges as their schooling, and they pretty much all say the same thing. So it's not really it's definitely not a focal point in the process.
Yeah. Well, most colleges aren't really teaching that. I guess it can be an elective, but nah. And here's another point that I talk about when I get into discussions about what the government's doing in order to brainwash people. Do you know of any high school that formally has, as part of their curriculum, the teaching of logic?
Not that I know of. I never took a logic class.
Now, neither do I. Now, to me, that says logic is the one instrument that can help people discern truth from fact, politicians' lies from the truth, or from any kind of truth, from any kind of fact, just by using logic. It is the way to help you think. And if that's what schools are supposedly are all about, then why aren't they teaching logic to the American kids? Because they don't want the kids to think.
That's a good point.
See, but that's why I say, shit, as a parent, we have to have a structure within our own homes that once our children go out to their schools, they come back home and they get deprogrammed home. Because the reason, I got 2 boys and I'm sending my sons to public school only because I want them to know the people in their community. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worrying about the educational system because my whole thing is this. I'm educating my kids in the house. So when they go to school and they come home and they have their books, they're not just getting to learning the schoolwork that they did for today. We going over that. Like once they go from school in the public school, they coming home and they're being retaught all of that again, because I feel like the education of my child is my responsibility. If the teacher tells them they need to read a book, they're going to read that book and 2-3 more. You know what I'm saying? Summertime, we go, it's my job to educate my child. So when my child goes to school, my child should be sharp. The teacher shouldn't even be having a hard time breaking sweat trying to educate my kid. You know what I'm saying? My son should be able to pick it up because they're getting that reinforcement at home. So he's going to learn logic. He's going to learn how to read and comprehend. He's going to have to understand why he get into this conclusion when he reads it. You know what I'm saying? I'm building the next generation.
You have to have logic and critical thinking, because a lot of times not the information which is being presented by the professors at college and by the teachers at high school, a lot of it is not exactly all true. Plus, the way that they present the information, it's kind of a challenge because they don't present it in a way that makes sense. They present it in disjointed ways. Like, for example, if you go to Harvard, I don't know of anybody who's gone to Harvard and strictly because of their textbooks ever became a successful entrepreneur or became successful in the corporate world. So you have to have information, not just from your textbooks, a lot of which is wrong, but you have to have information outside of the textbooks, and you have to compare that information which you derive from magazines and newspapers and online versus what the textbooks teach. And besides that, the textbooks teach just the basics anyway, but sometimes the basics are very damaging. I don't know if you've ever seen like gender studies where women for the last 20 years, if not the last 30 years, they've been taught at least subliminally that men are the enemy. So right? I don't know if you noticed that.
Trust me, as a black man, we definitely noticed that too. Because the black woman got a full frontal attack on the black man, and the black man got a full frontal attack on the black woman. And it's like, it's ridiculous on our side, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we see it, trust me.
Mm-hmm. No, we see it. But
we see it.
Yeah, well.
Listen, we got black women preaching openly that the number one killer of the black woman is the black man. Like, we see that in our community, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
It's insane.
Well, it's like the feminist who's actually, it's on YouTube too, where the white feminist is saying that in order to really make America, well, this is way before Trump, but in order to make America a good, safe country, you have to kill all men. Not kill them, castrate them. I'm sorry. Castrate them.
I saw that. I saw that.
That
was crazy.
Yeah, because they believe men are the problems of the world, and specifically oppressing women. And anytime a woman comes across a situation where she can't handle or she's not strong enough, it's a man's fault. If it weren't for the patriarchy. So I can imagine what it's like in the black community.
It's wild and crazy, man. But yeah, we trying our best, trying to bring some structure back where we can have everything balanced again. Because we don't our role, the way we move, we don't move with that gender. Or we dealing balance. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to get that back reinstalled in our community. But a lot of times, the thing that messed black people up, I feel like, is we don't want to start over. I feel like we're so comfortable in the condition that we in. The thought of just stopping, and it might take 10 years, where we just have to be quiet, like the Chinese did, which was longer than 10 years, but like the Chinese did, and then all of a sudden, you looking at them like this is the point I'm making. I remember when I was a kid in Brooklyn, when you seen Chinese, they didn't dress fly. They always drove around in big trucks, never hip or nothing, none of that. And then now, if you look at Chinese right now, they hip, they in style, they cool. You don't see none of their racial stereotypes like back in the day, none of that. But you didn't hear them complaining and bitching. You seen them slowly building their stuff up, building their money, building their economy and their world. Then they came in changing up their image and stuff. They didn't worry about the image first. But we worry about the image first. While behind the scenes, we're still empty. We don't have it. I think we messing up like that.
Well, you know what the Chinese did? They did the same thing as the Jews, and what you're doing in your own particular household. They made sure that they took responsibility for the education of their children's minds, alongside the public education, the private education that they gave their kids. So they made sure that the kids could read, write, and do arithmetic, like the three basics, and do well in school. And if that meant that they couldn't hang out with their friends after school, that's what it meant. So, that's one of the reasons why they've gotten ahead. They sacrificed doing 12, 16 hours a day at the laundry or at the Chinese restaurant to make sure that their offspring would go to college. So, and then they got
Sacrifice.
themselves, their own businesses. They assimilated as best as they could. They incorporated themselves in corporate America, and I think a lot of the accountants are Chinese. But that's how you do it. You gotta realize, that's it. But let me go, guys, because I gotta go. But it was good to call in. So,
thanks for calling, man.
Thanks a lot,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Call anytime.
all right, take it easy now.
All right, man. Peace.
Thanks.
We got another caller right here. He was on for a minute. 44921. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Naj in ATL, man. What up?
What's going on,
Peace,
man?
Naj.
Ain't nothing, man. Now, normally I would cut somebody out after that last call, but I know that's Joe. I know he means well. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do that. Joe's a good dude.
Right.
It's difficult to assess these situations if you really don't know. Like, when you talk about the Chinese, you're talking about huge investment from their government. And the ones who don't actually have that type of money going back home. That's a huge part of the Asian community where people use the Asians as the model minority. Hey, if y'all just do like them, yeah, it'd be nice if we had government investment coming from overseas to start that laundry, to start the beginning of that finance. So like somebody said, well, they just put their head down and worked hard. Yeah, that's nice to do once you have that business to start off and the capital to start it to begin with. So, our condition is totally different from theirs. It's a bad comparison.
I'm not saying that, though. No, I'm not saying with the comparison of each thing. I'm saying ignore the bullshit and just worry about focusing on us. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about the put your head down or their model citizens. I'm saying that we get caught up into the shit where it's like, why are we worrying about, like Maxine Waters talking about, she taking her gloves off and going at it with Trump. And I'm like, why are we worrying about that? Why are we not worrying about rebuilding our shit? You know what I'm saying? Instead of worrying about Trump.
Yeah, but
Let's take 10 years, 20 years
does Maxine Waters, do you take Maxine Waters for a radical or a revolutionary?
No, I take her as somebody up there wasting time who's supposed to be somebody there representing us.
She's a card-carrying member of the Black Miss Leadership class. That is her job. She has to, keep trumping up stuff about Donald Trump, keep the drum beating. That's her gig. That's what she's doing. That's what they put her there for. So I'm not dismissing all black politicians, but the ones who do show them as that black neoliberal class, we got to call them what they are, and we shouldn't expect anything from them. Now, whether they should be getting our vote is a whole other topic, but yeah, I get disappointed in black folks who allow people to pass based on them being black, even though they don't act in our interest. That's a whole other discussion.
That's my point. We should be worried about our interests right now.
You can't have racial discussions in America without insulting white folks. I mean, that's just the reality, because that's how the conversation is going to go. They're going to be hypersensitive about anything you say, so the conversation is not going to be the most civil. But at the same time, so what? Because if you're quiet about it, they will continue to do what they do and justify it in bigger measures. That's one of the landmarks of America.
But you see, my whole thing when it comes to racial discussions, I don't care what white people feel about anything. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is this. If I'm speaking on what black people is dealing with, I don't really care what a white person's perspective is. I try to listen to whatever in the conversation I can use that can work to help black people out. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, we just need the information where it's like, oh, you know what? That's a good idea right there. Let's bring that back to the drawing board. Listen, what we need to do is take our money out of these Chase, Wells Fargos, and put them inside credit unions. You know what I'm saying? Because these fees that these major banks are doing is killing us right now. And if you put them in a credit union, then it's easier for you to get loans on cars and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? It's like,
look, I go you a step further. Anybody who won't loan to your community, you should take your money out of there, period. Just because, look, if you're not acting in my interest, why should I give you my money to play around with every night, making money around the globe, if you're not doing anything for me besides holding money and giving me a debit card? What the hell kind of deal is that? Sound like a sweet one for you. So, I mean, yeah, we got to take a different perspective. But until black people get angry enough and decide we're going to act as a group, and I don't mean all black people unified acting as one. I mean enough black people for mass movements to start. That's how we've always made progress in this country. So until we start doing that again and being serious about it, and also being unapologetic about, I'm doing things for black people. Those are the people in the most need. Those are the people I'm working with and for. Till we get to that level, then we're going to deal with this individualism. Some people get it, some people won't, and then we'll just say, well, you should have pulled up your pants. You should have, we'll start that nonsense again. Well, while you're listening to 21 Savage, if you didn't listen to that garbage, you would have, we start making up pitiful excuses instead of the hard realities we facing. So that's just what it comes down to, man.
I agree with you.
If we like each other, we don't.
But what do you feel about the youth, though? You know what I'm saying? Just taking a generation just to focus on the youth and building that up, and us as adults building a foundation and platform for when that child get older, instead of worrying about just
Well, the first thing I say is don't make it either or. Like some of these things that we do worry about, they do deserve some time. It doesn't have to be an either or proposition. We can worry about that stuff and also continue to build. As far as the youth, they got some rough roads ahead of them. The government is not going to be what it was before as far as ability to spend, because there's going to be some constraints after Trump gets done raiding the Treasury and balancing things for the 1%, it looks like. So, I mean, the youth got – but the thing is, because the jobs aren't available like back in the day when those factories are there, some of us could go get that job and then you kind of sit down. You don't think about going forward. So the youth won't have those opportunities, so they're going to have to create more of their own, and they're going to need investment from aunts and uncles and fathers and brothers and sisters. So we got to start thinking more of empowering them to fall on their face, try again, fail better. And then that way that'll lead them to success, because it'll be a lot of more markets open, man. Amazon is destroying the formerly known corporate model. There's a whole lot of people that are going to go out of business because of Amazon.
Walmart.
That's going to create opportunities.
Walmart going to fall.
They're fighting. I don't know. It's a race to $1 trillion between them and Walmart. They're fighting.
Watch this. Walmart is Blockbuster and Amazon is Netflix.
Hey, man.
Walmart going to fall.
That's going to be a tough one. That's two titans. You see Walmart trying to make their online services bigger to try to compete with Amazon. But, man, Amazon is a monster. That little Alexa machine, it will calculate how many beers you have left and tell you, look, you're almost out of beer. Would you like me to order some more now? I can find the cheapest price right now online and have them shipped here tomorrow. Like, it's a monster, man. It's a monster.
Amazon.
See, so we have to, as black people, we have to figure out how we're going to do our thing. Because my thing is this: when it comes to white people, we already know their structure. We already know they plan and how they get down. So I feel like all we need to do is just work on ourselves, build ourselves up, and focus on us. Because
I'm with you.
Whatever they're doing, it's going to crumble. Like how many times the economy went up, then it crashed, foreclosures everywhere. Think about if we had a black economy and we could start buying up all their foreclosed shit. And then now black people could spread out into different neighborhoods, and we just spreading out our shit, getting up all their banks. Now the black banks is spreading out into different things. But we can't even play the game.
I
because
definitely get what you're saying, right? Right, you
like
gotta have the capital to play the game, and that's the issue though, because we don't seem to understand that. Look, if you don't have the capital, that means you have to use your numbers, and we got a big enough population to where if we actually spent and worked with each other and created businesses based on just investing together, your little small piecemeal thing, we can make things happen, man. So I mean, we got a big working class that isn't investing in itself. So, that's something that we do have to change, but, it's rough,
And the
bro.
beautiful thing about being black, though, is knowing that we don't have shit. You see what I'm saying? So whatever you decide to do is going to work. If you say, yo, I want to open up a grocery store, you know it's gonna work because we don't got a grocery store. Everybody keep talking about a dry desert. You know what I'm saying? Food desert in the black community. So that means if you open up a grocery store, it's gonna work. A corner store, it's gonna work. If you open up a factory producing plates, producing Pampers and toilet tissues and mops and brooms and stuff like this, and you creating you have a factory that create these things, and you have small little dollar stores that sell it in black communities, it's gonna work because we don't have these things.
But bruh, what you're saying right now is real important, and I think the other part of it is thinking not only outside the box, but thinking beyond what we're used to as far as structure. What you just talked about. Hey, we need there's food deserts here. We need to do something about the food here. Okay, there's a little house over there that such and such own. He got a big grill in the back. Hey, man, we're going to set up shop at this house, put it on Instagram, tell people in the neighborhood to come through, and we're going to do business. No, we ain't got no permits. No, we ain't got no business license. We just roll it, and you roll, and then you flip it later. Look, man, we can't be out here trying to play these perfect board games. The Kennedys did not get on by playing by the damn rules. And we out here trying to play by the rules in the game where we got the smallest bankroll. Hell with that. Yeah. Think outside as much as you can.
Got to. You got to.
So, yeah, I'm with you on that, though, man.
That's what it is. That's what it is. But you know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit I'm on. I'm like, I just want black people to remember, like, yo, we're hustlers by nature. We know how to come up. It just, we gotta, I don't know if it's a fear or something like that, but it's like, okay, so I don't know if you heard me earlier. I was saying that there's a video of Black Wall Street in color.
Did you know that? Yeah, saw that. That was dope.
I'm looking at it, and when you see the face, when you see the color, when you see the blocks, and you can actually, it's not black and white still picture. It's actual, you seeing it. And I kept telling my girl, I kept saying, all of that is black people. This isn't a black neighborhood in a white town. No, all of them buildings there is black all over there. Everything driving, everything moving is black over here. Because the shit is segregated. And just, like, you know what I'm saying? So
dude, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if everybody's hip, but check out John Henry Clark YouTube lectures. You know, it's good information there. And one thing he talks about in there is cultural confidence. And that's something that I think a lot of us are lacking. That's kind of you hitting on where people don't jump out the window because they're scared it might go wrong. It's like, look, if you check the check, so what it go wrong? You can go right back to check to check. It ain't the end of the earth. You know what I mean? It'll be all right. And then you try it again. You know what I'm saying? But that Black Wall Street situation was they had no illusions about cultural confidence because they had always been doing the jobs, doing the work, and building on their own. So it wasn't, I'm going to go to such and such company. No, I'm going to John down the street. He know how to, put a house together. And such as Billy over there, he know how to fix cars. He been fixing all these, these cars. So it's that kind of mentality. So we got to get that cultural confidence back and stop assuming that other people can do things and we can't do them. Like, nah, that ain't it.
So that means we got to start really reprogramming ourselves. Like, we don't need colleges. We need institutions. We need things where we're being trained to help our race. We're being trained to be important tools in this structure. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said, I always go back to the children. When we raise our children and build our children up, we have to look them in the eyes and let them know, listen, it's important for you to move like this, to think like this, because you're an important factor of building up the black race. They have to believe as children that my purpose is building up the same way we'll have our children. I'm a gangster. I'm blood. I'm all of this. They need to believe that, my purpose in life is to build up the black race. You know what I'm saying? And as they believe that, that's how they'll move in life. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that they do, they'll look at it like that. And that's the type of mindset that we have to have it.
Right. There's a good lecture, Amos Wilson, where he talks about education, and his point in it was education means solving your own problems. So if you can't solve your own neighborhood problems, you're not really educated. You can go to school for 4 years and learn how to solve other people's problems. Matter of fact, they'll employ you. Then you live in their area, spend your money in their area, and become a nice beneficial component to their economy. But if you go to school or teach your kids to go to school to solve their own problems locally, they'll create a revenue stream, they'll create jobs, they'll create better conditions in that community, and they could actually change that community as opposed to just, us waiting until things are dire and then get gentrified. So, yeah, right. I think you hit on an important point. But I would tell everybody, look up that with Amos Wilson lecture because, I'm just giving ideas from the ancestors, from other people. You know what I mean? Things I've heard and read and things like that. Like this ain't, you know what I mean? Me coming out the box with this. So, the great ones out there, Amos Wilson, John Henry Clark, man, Kwame Ture. Like, the information is out there. We can just go to YouTube and pull it. That's how much disrespect they have for us, honestly. The fact that they ain't taking that stuff off the internet.
But I'm going to tell you what, though. Remember, net neutrality. They're fucking with the internet, too, though. Now they're trying to fuck.
They want to make
internet
access a rich or poor thing. Yeah, true.
Yep. So now, because the way the system is set up, just like hip hop, we'll look at it like, yeah, man, all the information there, everybody should know this. In a good 20, 40 years, it'll be kids sitting around here talking about white Jesus and, you know what I'm saying, black people were slaves, and right back.
Hey, man, that's another scary part of this information age where you find there's a lot of empty containers out here, and they can go to YouTube or one of these other places, and they'll watch one video, it'll take them to another, and they'll go down a rabbit hole, and before you know it, you have a grown man telling you that the earth is flat. You'll have a grown man telling you that Africans, black people are not Africans. We were here in the Americas. We never were slaves. And you're looking at them like, what's wrong with you, man? And they like, man, I done watched 6 hours of videos on misinformation.
You ain't lying, man. That's a good point.
But that's a scary thing, though, because in the 80s, you couldn't have told somebody that the earth is flat. They looked at you like you were stupid because they had a foundation at least. But if people are starting off with no foundation, they can fill it up with anything online. And that's how you see people get radicalized as far as becoming terrorists, like you see some of the Islamic folk and some of the right-wing folk who are turning into white nationalists based on, stuff they've listened to online. So it's like, wait a minute, you said you were a conservative, but you keep talking about white this, white nation, all right. Like, how the hell is that conservative? So they got their own fight within their sect because you got real conservatives who want, a steady economy and they want people to have the opportunity to make a living, but they don't want the government to be determining outcomes. And then you got people who are like, look, man, this is a white country. The hell with all the rest of y'all, and y'all need to get the fuck out of here. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how varied it is, man.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like black people, we're just pawns in a game between rich white and poor white. And they're in conflict, and we're in the middle, and it's a lot of silly of us. Some of us will pick the rich white side, some of us will pick the poor white side, and fight each other. And it's like, this is not our fight. While they're fighting,
the most disappointing group right now is poor white folks. That's the most disappointing group right now because, like, clearly they should read the tea leaves and see that a lot of them are about to lose their whiteness, lose their access to white privilege. And their concern should be class matters of they should be working with the working class, black, Asian, and everybody else to push for, better wages, better benefits and everything else. Tax rates they want and everything else. But instead, they're siding with that group who threw their ass overboard 40 years ago. And they think they're going to get something. And it's like, Trump, you and Trump don't have anything in common. You don't get it? He's playing you.
This is how they play the poor whites. The poor whites is supposed to be the rich whites working class. Workforce.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's how. So what happened is, black people get paid less. This is how the whole game goes. I have figured it out one day, but this is my opinion at least. Black people get paid less than white people, poor white people. right? So who are you going to hire more now? Blacks, because they're cheaper than hiring the poor whites. Who's a harder working people? Black people than poor whites. Who's a more smarter people? Black people than poor whites. So the black people are going to get hired more. Now, who are they going to hire more now? Black man or black woman? It's cheaper to hire the black woman than the black man. So they're going to hire more the black woman than the black man. So actually, they done locked up the black man, all of that shit. So now they got the black woman up there. The black man, he not working. He getting locked up and shit. So now they have this structure set up where poor whites now is all on drugs, opioids, meth, and all kind of shit like that, just like how blacks was in the 80s.
In the 90s, yep.
In the 90s, early 90s and shit like that. So that's the whole workforce.
Yeah. I definitely get how you breaking the class, the class structure down. So you got educated black folks competing with working class whites who are undereducated. And that already tells you the dynamic about race in America, the fact that educated black folks got to compete with that workforce. But then the other side of it is the same thing that ravaged the black communities, the people who listened to the excuses and said it's okay, fuck them, let it happen to them. Now those people are being hit with the same thing. High unemployment, factories gone, drug trade is ramping up, single parenthood is on the rise in rural and poor white areas. Why? Because all of those conditions create that. It wasn't a black folks are crazy thing. It was if you put people in that predicament, that's typically going to be the outcome. And now you got poor white people going through that. So it's rough, man.
Let me tell you, there was a movie as a documentary, I think it's called Square Groper or some shit like that, about Florida. They had dropped like big bales of weed or something in the Florida glaciers, and the white boy. Well, what happened was the white boys out there, poor whites. It was like two families, all interbred with amongst each other and shit like that. Poor whites, and their only source of money was fishing. So the government so that's how they ate. So the government ended up passing laws that you can no longer fish over there. So then they was end up being poor, the men not taking care of their family, women on welfare, all kind of shit like that. So then the weed came in. So they end up getting the weed, selling the weed and shit, getting money. These white boys got chains now, cars, big tires. You see 16 years. This is them talking. Now you see 16-year-olds making more money than their parents. And I said, wow, this was 1981. And I was like, damn, that shit sound like the crack era. I said, so just like you said, you put us in that situation, anybody, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Mexican, black, white, Indian, you're going to get the same outcome. So don't say that's black. Or that's a black gene. We got some gene. No. That's
America tried to present it as a moral problem. The reality was the 1% and the political class sold out the working class of America, shipped the jobs out, all of the production, and said we're going to become a finance capital. And don't worry, we'll train the new the workers on new skills. Well, that training from government money never came. So people ended up going from being a factory lineman or supervisor to working in a call center. And then they shipped the call centers to Taiwan and the Philippines and everywhere else. So now you got a guy going from making $30 an hour working on the line as a skilled laborman to working at a damn Walmart for the lowest of low, where he could probably be possible, to get food stamps while he's working 40 hours a week. Now you get a whole class of folks like that, they'd be mad enough to vote for somebody named Donald Trump. Like, you see how this works?
That's how the game go. And that's how
they sold out the working class. And black folks, man, we doing a lot of crowing and laughing at Trump voters when we voted for somebody who was in there 80 years and told us our stuff would always come later. And it was always about protecting him from the Republican attacks and everything else. And people was just hanging on to speeches and everything, but got no policy from that man. But he sure as hell wrote the policy to send them drones out. He sure as hell took care of Gaddafi when the big boys wanted him to. But as far as the hood, he had no words for us. When he did have words, he would come to a black college and tell people to pull their pants up. at a college graduation.
He scolded us. He scolded us. That shit was so crazy. I was like, whoa. First year, you came out swinging on us? Like, God damn.
At a college graduation, you telling them? What?
It was crazy.
Then he told us for Hillary, get out and vote and protect my legacy. He didn't say get out and protect this piece of legislation I wrote for you. Get out and protect my legacy. What? Black folks stayed at home.
Yeah. We said that was the moment. When I heard that, I said that's the most insulting shit I ever heard in my life. That shit was just like, come on, do it for Jesus. And it's like, what? You used the Jesus on us? You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn.
I know y'all don't like this raggedy heifer over here, but vote for her for me. Protect my legacy.
Yeah. Protect my legacy. Do it. Do it for your nigga Barack. It's like, wow, Barack, now you trying to show us you really cooning for us now. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I was like, yo, that whole situation fell. It was crazy. But that's why I say we need to worry about building an economy, fixing our families, and really taking this shit serious. It's going to take a couple of generations to get it right. But if we start, we know it's going to pick up. But if we don't start, then we're going to keep on dealing with the same shit over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I'm feeling...
It's a generational thing, man. Some generations we've made great gains, and then other generations we've taken steps back. So it's progression and regression. And it depends on what we see as the outcome that we want. Because there have been times where they threw crumbs off the table, and we went and got those crumbs and told everybody else, fuck you, get yours. All that solidarity is gone. Like your boy, I don't want to quote him too much because he sounds a little off nowadays. Shout out to the great legendary guy. But Gregory used to say we used to march and demonstrate against the city about some of their hiring, and then they would talk to a black doctor, and he would say, "No, I'm not for all that demonstration," and then he would become the first black public official of health. Because he didn't side with the group who was necessary to get him where he got. Because mass movements is how we got everything that we have as far as being close to being, citizens with equal rights in this country.
Yeah. See, I just feel like, me, I grew up from the 80s in an activist house. So it's like... That's why now I'm just like, man, I just feel like we have to get this economy because I'm not one of the people, like me, I laugh when people say that black people don't support each other because I've always seen black people supporting each other, you know what I'm saying, since I was a kid. So I'll be like, I just say to myself, like, all of this misinformation that's attacking black people, that's what's really killing us because we thinking we don't support each other. We don't buy. It doesn't make sense to get a business. We only live once. We can't die without the money. We might as well spend it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's no real focus on building the black.
Yeah, and we got to get an educated class who actually still loves the black community and believes in the black community and is not coming down from a space of on a soapbox as if they above. Yeah. Because when you come down and you talking that shit to people and you don't identify with working class folks no more, what can you really do? You know what I'm saying? You could do a study, but if somebody else is a damn plumber, he got more he got more connection and use for the damn community than you do. That damn black plumber over there. So we got to do something about that, man, because there's a lot of classism within our community of folks telling other folks, well, y'all just need to y'all, you know what I mean? And at the same time, they walking away somewhere else. So it's like,
because I think a lot of times we don't really get it. The change is always through the youth. It's not through the adult. So if you see a black man and he's a plumber and he might drink and cheat on his wife or something like that on the weekends and shit, it ain't your job to tell him about what he do on the weekends at a floor. The only thing you should be telling him is, listen, as a black man, just keep your business to yourself. Don't be sloppy with that, but make sure your plumbing
job is on apprentices
point.
In there.
Apprentice to learn your shit. You know what I'm saying? Would you like to teach and have more kids? That way, when you die off, your skill live on, and these guys that learned from you, they're also being taught better morality skills. So now we don't have
and we have to lean on black expertise, because there are black people who study our market, study our demographics, but we go to the other side and listen to them, and then we come and do a business that's working in the suburbs. Man, you know how many college-educated black people I've seen open a muffin shop in the hood or a juice bar, and it's like, look, man, that little Korean place right next door is selling chicken wings and fried rice, and they putting their kids through school on it. You and your juice bar, I understand you want people to be healthy, but if that's not where they at, like, you know what I'm saying?
If they ain't there,
you know, you can't force taste on people.
I remember that was the big debate in the early 90s, like 91, 92, 93, like that. It was like, yo, we should take back our communities or whatever like that. So then people used to be like, yeah, well, let's open up a liquor store. And it's be like, nah, brother, that's you selling poison to your people. But it's like, no, if you know black people in here drink, and you take over the liquor stores in your community, that same $500,000 that leave your community from the Chinese, now that's $500,000 that stay in your community from the people that's buying the liquor. And that same $500,000 can now be used to reinvest into education shit for the children, or rebuilding factories for another shit, or alcohol anonymous shit, you know what I'm saying, to help for rehabs or whatever. But you controlling the money that's leaving out your community is basically what I'm saying. Once you control that,
and that's a lot of that liberalism too, man. Look, if you sell alcohol, you sell alcohol. You could try to open up an AA on the other side of it, but it's like, look, man, there's few things that are going to be moral in capitalism. So if you're selling alcohol, you're selling alcohol. But as long as it ain't one on every corner, people are gonna buy it anyway. I'm not that good of a dude to sit up there like, we don't need no alcohol here. You got to get out. Nah, man, we need black people exchanging currency and trying to build things. And I'm not really a capitalist at heart anyway. But go ahead.
but you just said, as long as it's not on one on every corner, right? But guess what?
Yeah.
If you buy all of the liquor, if you buy up them liquor, not buy them up, but if you shutting these businesses down, buying up liquor stores and stuff like that, and shutting down these Chinese and stuff, then you control where the liquor stores are. So if you
all of the money is flowing to a few central locations as opposed to being spread out all over. Right? Yeah, I agree, man.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how we have to control our markets. When I see Mexican neighborhoods, you don't see Church's Chicken in Mexican neighborhoods. You don't see Popeye's Chicken in KFC. You see El Loco Polo. You see you know what I'm saying? You see their chicken spots. But then black people is known for chicken, but we don't cook chicken. You see what I'm saying? It's like you even have black women right now that don't know how to cook chicken. And I remember when I was a kid, and this is what I mean by 20, 40 years later, we'll be sitting over here dumb, like, believing in stupidness again. I remember when I was a kid, the saying was to a black woman, the key to a man's heart is through his stomach. I remember when black men used to be like, you know when you got a good woman, if she know how to make gravy. These are things I never hear no more. I don't hear this shit no more. I hear nothing about cooking for a man or a woman, man loving a woman because of her cooking and the way she take care. You don't hear none of that.
Hold up. You just hit a major point though. What you're talking about is society as a whole being kind of de-skilled. So a lot of people do box cooking now, or just meal here, meal there. They're not necessarily good cooks in the old way. And then on the other side of that, so many brothers don't have the same utilities that their father and their grandfather had, in the form of knowing how to fix certain things on a car, knowing how to fix certain things around the house, just mechanical ability that we have. For the most part now, if you meet a 21-year-old black dude, the most you can expect, just guessing, is that they can change a tire. But most dudes don't know how to, do the real grit and grind of a lot of, what I mean, blue-collar stuff that used to just be normal skills people knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the de-skilling is real.
And if you would have told black men and black women back then, yo, in the future, y'all ain't going to know how to work on cars, and you black women ain't going to know how to cook no more, they would have laughed. How the fuck are we going to not know how to do this? You crazy? This is everyday living. And it's
and
only
I think that's a part of being able to afford to outsource things. So back in the day when your ass damn sure wasn't going to go to the dealership to get something fixed and a mechanic was talking crazy, you found some shade tree mechanic in the hood to put the brakes on or whatever it was, and you looked around, you finally made it happen. And as far as cooking, back then, you bought groceries based on you was cooking 14 meals until the next payday damn near, at least dinners.
Yeah.
And now it ain't really that, because you figure, okay, we can eat out at such and such because it's cheap. We could do that three times, buy a box of this. Yeah, so you lose those skills, man. So it's just, that's a problem.
Yeah, we're in a bad situation right now, and that's why I'm thinking.
Yeah, because we got great wealth and great poverty right now. We got a lot of black people doing good, got businesses, employing people, doing real well, but they don't have enough to where they could change the condition of all black people. So you got great wealth next to great poverty. So that's what we got going on right now. Because there's people doing well, too. We can't forget that.
With no economy. So even the people doing well, that money is going where? It's like a pail with a hole in it. So you're going to have water in it, but it's leaking out on the bottom because at the end of the day, that money end up going right back to where it came from. It'll circle a couple of times, but it's like,
well, okay, let's just break it down. Steph Curry just signed that $200 million contract. He has a white agent. That's probably 4%. That dude gets a nice check for getting that for Steph Curry. His brand ambassador at Armour, the little, what's that raggedy shit? Armour or whatever it is.
Under Armour.
There we go. Under Armour. Okay, that's a white guy. He's working there. Now, who's the media spokesman for Golden State Warriors? Probably not a black person. Who has access to Steph Curry to sell his materials, jerseys, shoes, things like that. Probably not. So all these different revenue streams for other people off of black wealth, too. So, yeah, you're right, man. It definitely.
Yeah, it'll just running right out. The curse. You know? Yeah. So it's like that. Sometimes I think that's the how we get fooled into a lot of shit because we're seeing all this wealth, but just like Jay-Z said, fuck living rich and dying broke. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, and Lil Wayne experiencing that, living his life, spending money, all the money and jewels and getting high and stuff. And then when he get out of jail, he said, yo, I don't want to be worth X amount of money. I want that in my account. And he like, yo, where's my bread at? Yeah, you ain't got no money. You just got fake money. And that's how we are. We get caught up in thinking we got all this money. That's one of the tragedies of the music industry, man. The fact that Cash Money made all that money, all that shine, all those tours, all those years, and then the top of the company robbed all of the artists. I mean, hell, they didn't even want to pay Manny. So, I mean, that's tragic, man. Damn, that shit is sad. Yeah, man.
How you going to not pay Manny?
That's, the producer that cursed the whole sound, man, yeah. But that's us following a white man's music structure instead of saying, you know what, let's carve this music industry and create our own structure, our own rules that we play and abide by, like how the Jews do, but instead we're going to play it how we do it when we're dealing with black people. No, we want to play it like how the people that rape us, we want to turn around and be a rapist to our own selves. Yeah.
Right. And as horrible as all of that Master P music was, I ain't never heard nobody say Master P didn't pay him. So.
Right. Right. I never heard them stories. Never heard no stories about Master P not paying nobody. Never heard no stories about Jay-Z not paying nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's people that's doing the job, and they both successful, Master P and Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the ones who raping their artists, they always end up not even living that good. They always seem like
you run out of people to rob. You run out of people to rob.
Like it's a Ponzi scheme or something.
You're right.
Yeah.
So you can't keep robbing everybody and think it's gonna keep going. You run out of folks, man.
No, that's how it be, man. But it's 11:30 right now. We're gonna get ready to shut it down, brother. Thanks for the call. Appreciate the talk, man. Y'all, you gotta call in more.
Shout out to y'all.
You know what I'm saying? That's right, man.
We'll
call
do,
it more
man.
often, man. We'll be on here Fridays and Saturdays.
Nah,
Peace
much
Black
respect
Brothers.
for y'all hitting deep topics, man. Much respect. All right.
That's right.
Respect to you for
Peace
calling,
Black
man.
Power.
Word.
That's right. So that's what it is, Smoke. You know what I'm saying? It's In Black America Radio. You know what I'm saying? Extended version. Damn, you know what I'm saying? Check the YouTube. Like I was saying earlier, In Black America Radio. On the YouTube, Instagram, In Black America Radio, Twitter, In Black America 7, and the